Yeah.
It's George.
It's Elaine.
Come on up.
Hey, Vinny, listen.
I never heard anything like this in my life. Listen to this.
This is exciting! This is exciting! Huh? Did I miss anything already?
Kramer, get in.
Where's the crazy man?
Hey! Sit down. Come on, it's about to start.
Hello and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinny.
My name's Matt.
Happy fourth season, my friend.
Yeah, this is exciting.
We made it.
I can't believe it. When we first started, I was saying we just need to get to the fourth season and then I'll be happy. But I just didn't expect to like seasons 1 through 3 as much as I did. How do you feel?
Good. I can't believe we made it this far, though. We haven't been turned off by any, we haven't been shut down.
You haven't quit the show?
That's true. Some days are easier than others.
Yeah, that's true. I know. It's funny. When we first started, it was easy. It was fun. Yeah. I think. Well, it's still fun. I'm sorry.
Go on.
But yeah, some weeks you're like, oh man, I gotta watch Seinfeld and take notes.
It's become a job.
And I gotta record with you for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Not complaining, just saying.
Yeah, it adds up after a while.
No.
I thought we would take a break, but
no breaks.
Hey, I got news for you.
Great
News. All right, I got news. You ready?
I think we set the wheels in motion on this one.
I think someone at Fish in the Dark heard our podcast and said, who would be a great replacement for Larry David? Jason Alexander.
Yep.
And sure enough, that is what's going to happen. The show has been, I think, just raking in the dough like crazy for a play. For one, I think it's made over $13 million, and this was before it even opened.
Wow!
Officially, Fish in the Dark got extended 6 more weeks this summer. So June 7th was Larry David's exit date. He was always planning on leaving on June 7th. That's when the play was going to shut down, and Jason Alexander is going to replace Larry David. Yeah, 6 weeks of Jason Alexander as, what is it, Norman? I want to say Norman Brenner.
No.
Norman. You look that up. Okay. But yeah, Jason Alexander, we mentioned about a month or two ago, Vinny, when we first saw the play, when it was in previews, that Jason Alexander would be just not the best replacement for Larry David, but how cool would it be to see him in the role? Because I don't want to say it's because Jason Alexander played George, he'd be a good voice for Larry. It's just that Jason has a Broadway background.
Yeah, he has that stage presence about him.
Oh, absolutely.
You can easily see him up there mixing it up with all his family members and his wife and brother.
Yeah.
The perfect Norman Drexel.
Drexel, yeah. Damn. But yeah, a lot of people are disappointed. They're like, well, now I'm never going to get to see Larry David live. But he was going to leave anyways on June 7th. So if you weren't getting tickets, by then, you weren't going to see him anyways. I'm thrilled to see Jason, quite frankly.
Speaking of which, there are standing room tickets you can get at the Court Theater for $37, I saw.
Oh, okay.
So there's still time. We can still make it.
Well, the big question, Vinny, I don't think any of our listeners have necessarily, but I have for you, is are we going to see Fish in the Dark again?
Absolutely.
Okay. I haven't really looked into it yet, so I hope there's still tickets.
I'll get them.
Okay. Put it on my tab.
Do that thing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little too much if Julia Louis-Dreyfus replaced Rita Wilson as Norman's wife in the show, and then you could have a little mini Seinfeld reunion of sorts.
And then Jerry comes to play his brother, and then Michael Richards plays the
niece.
There you go. That would have been neat to see Julie up there.
Yeah. But Rita Wilson, Rosie Perez, and the other cast members are apparently all staying the same. No one else is leaving the show. But this is going to be, I think, huge. I think this has just as much appeal as Larry David. If it started off as, hey, a Larry David scripted play starring Jason Alexander, I think it would have made just as much money. I really do.
I agree. Oh, somebody made a comment on, I think, Reddit that, hey, that means Larry has time to start working on Curb. So hopefully we get another Curb Your Enthusiasm season out of this. But we have an episode to discuss this week. The Trip, Part 1, the first episode of Season 4, written by Larry Charles, directed by Tom Schronis, and originally airing August 12th, 1992.
That seems pretty early for an air date.
Right? Summertime's still going on. People are still doing their thing.
Their thing, yeah, where they're making out on blankets, hanging out at barbecues.
Spiking volleyballs.
So yeah, a little bit of trivia to get us started here at the top of season 4, which is considered by many, I think, to be that perfect season, or I don't want to say golden age, but
it's referred to as the breakthrough season, and this is kind of when the show, everybody seems to feel it hit its stride.
Mm-hmm. At the start of this season, it was by no means just, skyrocketing right out the gate. NBC was covering the 1992 Summer Olympics in Spain, in Barcelona, actually, and Warren Littlefield, the president of NBC at the time, had the idea of, hey, let's take advantage of the viewership, of these games and use that kind of as a platform for this show. Larry David didn't really want to get involved with any kind of cross promotion. He didn't want to deviate from the season they already had started, which is the Jerry pilot. That's really when the season starts. They wanted to start just a little bit earlier with these episodes. So Larry David actually passed the baton to Larry Charles, of all people, and said, hey, if you want to come up with something that we could air a little bit earlier in the season, August instead of September, go ahead and do it. And I think Larry Charles really appreciated this opportunity because it was a way not for him necessarily to, step up. He just wanted to take advantage, as we've mentioned before, of seeing how he could twist the traditional sitcom format into his stylings, the dark themes. What else can we use to describe Larry Charles here?
Trying to take very dark subject matter and find a lightness to it, find something comical about it, and see if it fits in the sitcom world.
Right, and I think he totally pulled that off in this two-parter, Trip Part 1 and 2, where you get rid of the 3 cameras on the set. You have a lot of real location shooting. You're down to 1 camera. And I think this didn't necessarily set a precedence, but this kind of set this pattern in season 4, where we're going to see a lot of shows that take place either outside of the apartment in the real world, or we're down to shooting episodes that just aren't in front of an audience. There's so many sets and so many locations. There's just no possible way you could have those revolving with an audience watching this unfold.
It's already lost its small town feel that we grew accustomed to in the first 3 seasons.
Oh, for sure.
This is very grand, and even, as you said, Larry Charles was intending to have this have a cinematic feel like a Seinfeld movie, and it really does have that, because a lot of quick cuts, multiple scenes, a lot of different actors. There's so many different actors we have to talk about today.
Mm-hmm. And also, this was brought up on the DVDs that Vinny and I watch at home. It really is a trilogy of sorts. You have the Keys, you have the Trip Part 1 and the Trip Part 2. We might have brought this up last week, but if they could add on just one more episode, or maybe pad these episodes out with deleted scenes, it would be about an hour 20. Would be interesting. A Seinfeld movie. I don't know if it could be pulled off theatrically, but I do like this multi-episode theme.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and this is something else I wanted to bring up, was this is kind of an example of the whole Netflix argument, which for some reason really sticks in my craw, but there's a lot of continuity carryover from the end of season 3 to season 4, as we see in this trilogy. Probably
the most, other than spoilers, Susan's death.
Yeah, because that's a whole arc, and it becomes part of George's background for the rest of the show, the series run.
Yeah, the only thing that's just blatantly absent from this 2-parter is Elaine, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who I feel kind of bad saying this because she is, integral to the Seinfeld dynamic, but I don't really miss her, for some reason in these episodes. I'm not like, man, where's Elaine? This would have been so much better with Elaine here. Mm-hmm. It just kind of feels like we're back to that, pilot episode where it's just the three bulls and, they're off on their adventures together. I really don't feel like she's... Do you miss her, though, in this?
I do miss her energy and kind of what she brings to the table, that feminine quality, but mixed among the boys. So I do miss it. But, because she's on her maternity leave, it makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
That's one of my gripes with why, one of the digs I have against the episode is she's not in it. But nothing you can do about that.
Well, I think it's because everyone's really out of their element, filming on location in LA. It's so different tonally from Seinfeld proper that when we get to the pitch and the ticket next time, episodes 3 and 4, she's there, but it's so shoehorned in with these let's throw a shot of Elaine in here on her vacation. That feels wrong because
don't forget about her.
Yeah, but she should be there because you're so used to seeing her on the apartment set or at Monk's whereas this is all foreign for us. Now, I didn't appreciate these when I first saw them, but there were some Seinfeld Olympic-themed promos that NBC was airing, leading up to this episode on the 12th of August. So you'd be watching the Olympics, and then all of a sudden you get this commercial for a show called Seinfeld, and you're like, oh, I've never heard of Seinfeld, and they're always talking about something, Olympic-related or sports-related to just kind of get that hook to bring you in. Oh, maybe I should check out this show on the 12th. And they all involved Michael, Jason, and Jerry, and they pretty much, I think, all took place at Monk's. There might have been a few in Jerry's apartment, but it was just 2 or 3 of them at a counter talking about whatever. I can actually play a few here.
Do you know yachting was an Olympic sport?
I never watch that stuff.
How come?
It's too easy to cheat.
How do you cheat in yachting?
Simple. You stick a small motor under the hull. They never check.
Don't you think they'd be a little suspicious when one boat wins by 16 hours with no wind?
Hey, modern pentathlons today. That's 5 events, right?
Right.
I wonder what the ancient pentathlon was.
Well, there was the eat, run, and retch,
The Caligula head toss,
the 400-meter emperor stab,
poke the eye of the Cyclops.
poke the eye of the Cyclops, and the run till you're dead. Hey, you want to watch Olympic diving? It's on in 20 minutes.
Nah, no action.
What are you talking about? Remember in '88, Louganis hit his head on the board and then won the gold medal?
Yeah. What are the odds of that happening again?
No, that's a dive now. The highest degree of difficulty. The Louganis half gainer, no brainer.
It's just so hard to imagine a world when Seinfeld wasn't popular. They were getting their viewers, and I think they had a nice little niche market, but by no means was this like a runaway hit or bringing in the numbers I think NBC would like it to have.
You're saying pre-92? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because nowadays, maybe with streaming and DVR and whatnot, it's so much easier to increase your numbers. But Seinfeld, it's crazy that it took this long to even blow up. I think I was going to save this for later episodes like The Pitch, but I think Larry Miller was visiting the Seinfeld set, and Jerry and Larry are good friends, and Jerry said something like, we've been doing this, for 3-4 years now, and, no one's watching us, like, when is it going to happen? And Larry was the one to say, don't worry, it'll happen. And Jerry just didn't understand that concept. He's like, what are you talking about? If it didn't happen last year or 2 years ago, why is it going to happen now in our 4th season? So
what does he know? He's just a doorman.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that people will move thousands of miles away to another city. They think nothing of it. They get on a plane, boom, they're there. They live there now. Just 1,000 miles. I'm living over there. Pioneers, it took years to cross the country. Now people will move thousands of miles just for one season. I don't think any pioneers did that. It took us a decade to get there. And we stayed for the summer. It was nice. It had a pool. The kids loved it. And then we left about 10 years ago, and we just got back. We had a great summer, and it took us 20 years, and now our lives are over.
This whole episode is riddled with airport, plane humor, travel humor, and I think almost every stand-up he does has to do with travel. But he could almost do an entire album worth of airport and plane jokes alone.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before, and that seems to be one of his go-to subjects. Maybe because it's so rich, it's so relatable.
And that's probably one of the go-to subjects of the comedian, since they're always traveling, always on the road. Mm-hmm. I guess when you get bigger, you start to fly versus hitting the pavement. But yeah.
Jerry really seems comfortable here, too. We might have said that before, too. We're likely going to sound like broken records for the next 140 episodes. But knowing that a lot of the stand-up was written for the show, this isn't original Jerry material, he doesn't seem as stiff trying to sell it as he did in earlier seasons. He's really, I don't want to say come into his own as a comedian, but he just seems like he's, I buy it more. Like we're literally in, a cafe or a nightclub somewhere watching this guy perform. So our first scene of the episode is at Monk's. Looks a little different, I have to say, right out the gate. It's a little brighter.
It's got, the clarity has just been increased. It's got this polished look to it, and that's the season 4 look.
Yes, And the camera actually, I never noticed this before, kind of moves through the cafe. They got some tables out of the way, and we're getting just an interesting kind of dolly shot as they sit down, George and Jerry. Whereas before, the camera was pretty stationary. They would just walk in, sit down.
What do you think about that?
I like it. It fits with the theme of this episode. Kind of that bigger, more cinematic scope. But we'll see if they stick with it as this show goes on.
So right now, Tom Sharonis is the main director. He does the majority of the episodes. Later on, Andy Ackerman will take over. This is a couple seasons later. But he likes to do a lot of crane shots and swinging in kind of shots to open the show. Oh, yeah. So it's not going away, but definitely has a change in the feel of the show. And again, the little play that we're used to seeing, the little rinky-dink garage show that Jerry likes to call it, they're now being upgraded to the next level. And it's now this polished machine of a show,
Oh, for sure.
And did you notice a familiar face sitting at the checkout counter?
I did. Ruthie Cohen.
Ruthie Cohen! Is that our first episode?
It is.
I think the first appearance of Ruthie.
Yeah. She is credited as being the actor who has appeared in the most episodes behind the Seinfeld 4, which I don't agree with in a sense. Like, it's a little...
Technically, you could say yes, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right. Just because she only has, speaking lines in like 1 or 2 episodes.
And I was going to save her background for when we get to those episodes. So stay tuned for season 7 or 8 whenever she appears.
Right. But I will tell you that during season 3, I was looking for her the whole time. I didn't know she started in season 4. I thought she just kind of got thrown into a random episode.
Yeah.
But kind of like that bike, when does the bike show up in Jerry's apartment? When does the black and white VHS tapes turn into the movie slipcover tapes? Like Pretty Woman and forget what else is in there. Child's Play 2, I think.
There you go.
But yeah, good eye. At this point, George is hearing for the first time that Kramer was on Murphy Brown, the TV show. This is a carryover from, as you mentioned, Vinny, The Keys, the finale. So we're kind of in part 2 of that arc. George always liked Candace Bergen, especially in Carnal Knowledge.
So much to the point that he inquired if she showed her breasts in that.
Apparently she did.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she did, yeah. I haven't seen it, but oh, God.
Go.
All right, moving on.
Would you like a shovel, Matt?
So George tells Jerry that Kramer asked him to go to California with him. This is, again, something from The Keys. And George actually turned him down and had to keep it a secret from Jerry, which shocks Jerry because George didn't say anything and he can't keep a secret.
That's actually a nice George trait that we see later on. He doesn't have a good poker face. He he lets it slip about Gary Fogel's secret. George slept with this girl, a girlfriend, Jody Hirsch, full name. And he kept a lid on that for about 28 seconds.
Right. And I wonder, was Jody Hirsch someone from high school, or was this someone like from work, or someone Jerry knew?
There's no way of knowing.
Yeah.
That's another thing. We have this full name, but we don't have no face to put with her and no backstory. And the only Jody name that I think ever appears in the Seinfeld universe is Jody the masseuse.
Oh, I forgot her name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Backing up real quick to when, George is like, Kramer asked me to go to California with him. I turned him down. He seems so smug. Like he's, I'm, hot shit.
I was the one to be offered the trip, not you.
Yeah. Oh my God. That just, I don't know. Just it really bugs me because it's, on one side, it's Kramer asked me and I turned him down.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm turning you down.
Double whammy.
He's got hand. I think we talked about this last week as well, in that Kramer was upset with Jerry and his feelings were hurt, which is why he didn't go to Jerry with this. He told George. He was on good terms with George at the time. One other thing I wanted to add, when we were talking about Candace Bergen in Carnal Knowledge, George asked, did she show her breasts in that? And I feel like that has to be a Larry David question.
Oh, right? Yeah.
He did a pass of the script and he said, I want this line in there.
There's a lot of moments in part 1 and part 2. This is both written by Larry Charles, where I feel like Larry David just kind of, with that red pen, I don't know if that's how it works, just added a few jokes.
Sure. Go for it, yeah.
So The Tonight Show called and wants Jerry to do the show on the 28th, which they film out in L.A., gave him 2 tickets. And Jerry wants to track down Kramer while he's out there since he really felt bad how things ended with the Keys. George, of course, jumps on the offer for a free ticket, but wonders about the accommodations.
What about accommodations?
All taken care of.
Is there a meal allowance? What about seat assignments? Could I have the kosher meal? I hear the kosher meal is good. And I need clothes. Gotta get a haircut. And I have to refill my allergy medication. Do I need a hat? I need a hat, don't I? Can we do the Universal tour? They have that backdraft exhibit now. That looks very cool to me.
So did you notice that George kept a lid on him sleeping with Jody Hirsch for 28 seconds? And then Jerry says, I'm going out to L.A. on the 28th to do the Tonight Show. Back-to-back 28s.
Do you think there's like a theme running through this episode? Is that the secret?
28. I just thought it'd be a good trivia question.
Writing it down. He mentioned the kosher meal in that clip, which always makes me think of the airport.
I cannot wait for that line. Just the line. We're in La La Land now.
Yeah, we move out to L.A. and we're on a movie set, kind of behind the scenes here. And again with the camera, this is we're down to one camera. Is this the first? I can't believe we're hosting this podcast for this long, and I can't remember. Is this like the first time we ever have a full scene that's not on a set? I mean, we have them walking down the stairs in the parking garage, which was filmed at the offices there. Mm-hmm. But is this like the first time we ever have just a scene out in the real world, real world? This is on probably a Seinfeld set, but filmed like this. I can't think of anything.
I'm not sure. You're better at this part than I am.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll remember it once we stop recording. But yeah, this is Kramer. He's in his element. He's sitting like kind of in a director's chair, and he's got this little group of actors in front of him, and he's coaching them on how he looks through his script. All of his lines have special colors, so he doesn't have to memorize language. He memorizes color. That way he can go through red, yellow, green, blue.
To have a full palette of emotions. I love this cocky Kramer.
Yeah.
He's got his legs crossed in the director's chair. He's got a pipe in his mouth. He's just working it.
And is that the first appearance of the pipe, too?
I believe so.
The fact that we're not remembering it, right off the top of our head makes me think it is the first time.
Yeah. And there have been no cigars being smoked yet, right?
No.
Okay.
George had a cigar in the stock tip. I remember that.
That's right. Yeah.
But I don't know if Kramer's really been sold as a smoker yet.
Okay. At one point in the draft, Kramer told the actors they must learn to rely on their instincts. I like to play improv games. I believe that improv enhances the development of the character. Sometimes I'll be a vegetable or a plant, like, say, rhubarb or a dandelion.
That's a shame that was cut. That you can just hear Kramer.
Yeah.
With that dialogue.
Yeah. The crowd surrounding him is hanging on his every word. He's got their attention.
Are they? Because, that's your opinion. Are they? Because I always got the impression they're like getting cornered by this guy. Like, why are we listening to him? But
he's in a chair. You can't really corner somebody sitting in a chair.
That's true. At this point, a security guard breaks up the little lecture and apparently already told Kramer to get out before, and he starts escorting him out.
So the studio guard that is escorting Kramer out, he's played by Christopher Michael Moore. I'm going to start off with a Jake and the Fat Man episode he was in. Home Improvement, Wings, Picket Fences, Everybody Loves Raymond, Just Shoot Me. He was in that 70s show, which that's where I remember him from. Caroline in the City, Becker, Malcolm in the Middle, NYPD Blue,
wow,
Desperate Housewives, NCIS, and Shameless.
Oh, wow. So he's got quite a long list of L.A. sitcom and dramas on his list. Is he always kind of like that guy, like security guard or cop? Or
No, I have something else coming up.
Oh.
Akin to that, so stay tuned.
All right, well.
I also like how, as Kramer's being escorted away, he still maintains his composure, and he's like, we'll talk about this later, to the crowd, He doesn't lose it.
Kramer is in a severe state of denial this entire episode. He just chooses to see what he wants to see or, believe what he wants to believe.
He's doing what he does.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, we'll get to that.
I know.
One of these moments, I think that Larry Charles, this is sort of his signature. It's just a real short moment. It's really quick. And the only way they could pull it off is if they were filming one of these, single camera cinematic type episodes. But Kramer is driving out of the studio in his little blue convertible, and he just plows right through the gate. See you, Mike.
Yeah, he manages to say goodbye, though.
All right.
Kramer's actually seen driving out of the main gate of the CBS Studio Center, which is the same gate that the cast and crew of Seinfeld used for 8 seasons.
I think there's a behind-the-scenes feature for season 9 when the cast arrived for that final episode, either the reading or the filming.
Yes.
It was actually covered by, I think, a local news outlet, or it's like a, what's the Access Hollywood or Entertainment Tonight? And
I know
you
exactly
see,
what you're talking
You know
about.
what I mean? You see Jerry pull through those same gates in his Porsche, and I think Michael pulls through in a little convertible at one point.
Yes.
So that's actually like where I have the security booth stored in my head. So we cut to, I wanted to call it Kramer's apartment, but it's not an apartment; it's a hotel technically.
Oh, you're right. I didn't pick up on that.
But it is an apartment, I guess. Now, I didn't look into this too much, but this is kind of like a little bit of trivia that always floated around out there. Do you have this about Pretty Woman?
I do.
What do you got?
So the location or the apartment that Julia Roberts' character Vivian stayed at in Pretty Woman is the same exterior that Kramer is staying in right now.
Right. I think at the end of the movie, Richard Gere climbs the fire escape or the tree or whatever. And that's just a weird kind of like continuity because we know Jason Alexander's in that movie. That was even, I think, before Seinfeld came out, or maybe it was during the first season. But that is funny how they reuse these shots, or buildings at least. We brought this up way, way back during our pilot episode, the Seinfeld Chronicles, when the exterior of Pete's Luncheonette is also used in the Muppets Take Manhattan.
So now we enter Kramer's apartment or hotel, whichever you prefer. And it just seems like it's a building filled with all sorts of actors or just people trying to make it in show business. And you hear this guy doing vocal warm-ups.
Oh, yeah.
The
I love that detail. They got it just right. You have to have that unemployed actor who's living in squalor. Mm-hmm. So Kramer uses the payphone in the lobby, and God, I feel so bad for him because he's got like I think he has an Entertainment Weekly with him.
Yeah,
and
like
he's just, wanting to break into the movie business, and he dials up the offices of Murphy Brown and asks for Candace, tells them it's Kramer, and they hang up on him. And he, again, that whole just wanting to live in your reality, he's embarrassed, so he's I'll call her at home. He doesn't want the guy behind him to, I guess, judge him or think
to look down upon him.
Yeah.
I got news for you on the voice on that phone.
Oh, yeah? Who do you got?
So the secretary is voiced by actress Tawana King, and she's uncredited in the episode as secretary in The Trip Part 1. Mm-hmm. But she is also uncredited in The Pick. She plays a waitress.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a half visual, half audio double dipper.
What do we do?
I don't know.
I think the fact that we don't see her, can't really count it.
All right.
Sorry, but
Trying to sneak it in there.
That's a good bit of trivia, though. We can at least create like a graphic for it.
Just Kramer on the phone and close up on the phone.
Yeah. The waitress in The Pick. I don't know what scene that was.
We'll get there.
Yeah. But we meet this interesting character here. Is it Helena? Helena. She's sort of a washed-up actress from the 30s.
You could say that with emphasis.
All right. She's got the makeup caked on, the white makeup, the red lipstick. She's in her bathrobe. She's in her 90.
She has a flair for the drama, this one.
Yeah. She hasn't worked since 1934 when she played Mr. Sugarman's secretary in the Three Stooges short Sappy Pappies.
Yeah, that was a Shemp, right?
No, Curly.
So I never got that line, and I didn't know what Shemp was. I did not realize that Shemp was one of the original Stooges.
Or that he replaced Curly. Was he the original?
I actually did a little bit of digging because I wanted to get this line. I know how important the Stooges are to Jerry. Originally, it began as Ted Healy and the Stooges. So you had Ted Healy, Mo Howard, Shemp Howard, and Larry Fine.
Ah.
Which is another George reference. Nobody asked for the Larry Fine.
Except for Larry David.
Yes. So Shemp Howard left to pursue a solo career, and he was replaced by his younger brother, Jerome, who is Curly.
Ah.
So then Healy left, and then they became the Three Stooges as we know them.
Interesting.
So there were 6 total to pass through.
That's wild. Well, do you want to go over the premise of Sappy Pappies real quick?
Yeah. The boys play three sailors who find a baby. The baby's been kidnapped, and the police think they did it. Of course, they didn't do it. The police have made an awful mistake. Moe hits Curly with an axe. The Stooges catch the kidnappers, but it's too late. The baby's dead.
Really?
The boys are sent to death row and are executed.
I don't remember that part. This is just a perfect example of that Larry Charles just kind of get something really dark into this episode and make it funny. And
So dark.
Yeah, but I think the scene is just hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
It's so...
Kramer's reactions, too. Very good.
Yeah. It's a really creepy situation, too. Not just the subject matter, but the setting. You know, this really dingy apartment with Helena, who is just... Oof. She's like a ghoul or...
Kramer's accosted by this possibly deranged woman who has not acted. So it's funny, she says she hasn't acted since 1934. I looked up this actress. Her name's Elle Marie Wendell. She was born in 1939.
Okay. So
Isn't that interesting?
They added a lot of makeup to it.
Yeah. This actress starred in she had guest spots on The Jeffersons, The Facts of Life, Murphy Brown, which is perfect. Major Dad. She was in Third Rock from the Sun in several episodes. She played Mrs. Dubček. NYPD Blue, George Lopez Show, General Hospital, American Dad. She did an episode, and she did the voice of Aunt Griselda in The Lorax.
Oh, so she's still working today. That's nice. Yeah, so Kramer's trying his hardest to be polite here, and he's just slowly making his way up the stairs as Helena's walking after him.
It was sad for our three Stooges, what with the dead baby and the Stooges being executed and all.
Yeah, well, that was an unusual choice for the Stooges.
Would you like to buy me a fat-free frozen yogurt at the store, Kramer?
I can't right now. I got a very big meeting. I got these people interested in my movie treatment. So, I guess we'll have to make it another time, all right?
No, don't go out there, Kramer. They'll hurt you. They'll destroy you. You'll never make it in this town. You're too sensitive, like me.
Helena, you're wrong. I'm not that sensitive at all.
I was engaged to Mickey Rooney. He left me at the altar. Kramer!
And then to make this character even more unusual, she requests that Kramer take her to the store to get her a fat-free frozen yogurt.
Yeah.
And he's going to pay.
Yeah.
One point, though, while writing the script, Helena was going to say, I'm going to be putting a Stouffer's frozen entree in the toaster oven for dinner, Kramer. There's room for two. And Kramer takes a rain check. So there's something going on between them, or at least from her point of view.
Sure. I don't know if that is better than the fat-free frozen yogurt, because I like the fact that she's, do you want to buy me this? Like, that's her way of flirting with him, which I just find really funny.
And there's an example of product placement, which becomes very prevalent in Seinfeld as the seasons progress. But
the Stouffer's
frozen entree.
Mm-hmm. Something that got brought up on the commentary for this episode, which Larry Charles did, and this actually stood out to me from like the day one since I saw this episode, is it's kind of like we're watching the Kramer Show, as if this were a spinoff. Seinfeld goes off the air, and in the finale, Kramer moves to LA to become an actor.
What would you call that show?
Kramer.
Okay.
Kramerica. But I totally get that vibe. And I was just wondering, I don't want to say Michael Richards because I think they already experimented with the Michael Richards show, but could Michael Richards as Kramer carry a show?
Well, one of the things they commented in this episode, they said that Kramer in LA seems very normal among all these other actors and musicians and all these people trying to make it in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't come off as this weird pod that we always see him back in New York. So you kind of need that balance, I think, with him and George and Jerry and Elaine to offset their normalcy with his crazy antics. So they need each other to survive.
That's a good point. So we cut back to Jerry's apartment, and Jerry is packing his bag when George enters with 2 suitcases, and I counted 3 satchels.
Yeah, they're banded over his chest in an X pattern, but he's got 3 of them.
Whenever we have like a bunch of luggage in the car and I don't want to make another trip up to our apartment, I'm always, you're throwing on all those extra bags and
Does Liz call you Diana Ross?
No, she doesn't, but Jerry is baffled since it's only for a 2-day trip. So, as you put it, Vinny, what is he, Diana Ross? And George explains that he dresses based on mood. And this is just, I feel like, so classic here. The casual fans and the diehard fans always bring this up. Within the basic framework of wearing the same thing, there are many subtle variations, only discernible to an acute observer, that reflect the many moods, the many shades, the many sides of George Costanza.
And what mood is this?
This is Morning Mist.
I love the usage of this double seemingly. Very fun to use in a conversation.
Very Larry David, too.
Yeah.
You can imagine just the finger up, in the
Yes.
face. The outfit, though, I was just studying it. And he has the light blue shirt on. He has dark jeans and white shoes. That's Jerry's, trademark outfit.
That's true.
Take away the hat that he's wearing, and that's literally what Jerry would wear in those early episodes. And I think he wears it a few times in season 4.
Yep. I was hoping they would have told us some alternative outfit names other than Morning Mist.
Oh, yeah.
Similar to the different tea names.
Sure.
But got nothing.
So we cut to L.A., and again, Larry Charles bringing in these dark themes. We're looking at 2 cops, and they're examining a body under a sheet in the woods. And despite the darkness, of that image, there's some pretty cheesy lines here. These 2 cops are straight out of Dragnet.
Which reek of Larry Charles.
Yes, absolutely. No ID, no witnesses for the murder.
Just the trees, Johnny, just the trees.
So what do you got on these 2 lieutenants here?
Oh, I got some good stuff. So you remember Daryl Keith Roach, who played the blind police officer in the subway?
Yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
So you remember how he was usually cast as some sort of law enforcement guy?
Yeah, he was always playing cops in movies and TV shows.
So I think Lieutenant Martell is about to give him a run for his money.
And which one's Martell? Is that Johnny?
He's the younger one, Johnny.
Yeah.
He's played by actor Peter Murnick.
Okay.
He was in, now listen to this, I'm going to go through all of them, so bear with me. He was in Tour of Duty. He played Second Lieutenant Miller. He was in Gunsmoke, Last Apache. He played Lieutenant Davis. Quantum Leap, he played Second Military Officer. Golden Gate, he played Agent Bird. ER, he played Officer Mulva Hill. That's just two. You can't write that. Mulva Hill. That's one name. Mulva, Mulvahill. In Miracles, he played Detective Wilson Estep. Let's see. Oh, another fun thing. This is not a police officer, but in The Event, he played Mr. Berg. That was just a fun one. The Cape, he played Officer Number 2. He was in Transformers Dark of the Moon. He played Tracking Station Supervisor, which kind of sounds like it's enforcing some sort of law. In Shameless, he played Colonel Kirk McNally. In Justified, he played Trooper Tom Bergen. The Paperboy, he played a death row guard. And in Touch, he played Officer McKinney.
Wow.
I'm done now.
No, it's good. It's good. So he and Daryl Keith Roach have this track record of always playing cops. Was he a cop from your research, like before he became an actor?
I didn't see that.
Huh.
Oh, and then I got the other officer. Officer Coleman is played by Vaughn Armstrong. He also had a couple stints as a law enforcement guy. In Jake and the Fat Man, he played SWAT Man number 1. He was in Star Trek The Next Generation. On Cheers, he played Uncle Val. And he played Mr. Osborne. So I think he double-dipped on Cheers.
I haven't gotten to those episodes yet.
Okay,
so
let's see if you come across him.
All right.
He was in a Saved by the Bell episode. He was in Clear and Present Danger. He was the Black Hawk pilot.
Oh, you know what's funny? I actually just watched that movie the other week.
Cool.
But I don't remember him.
He was also in Frasier, Home Improvement, Melrose Place, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Jag, West Wing, Days of Our Lives, Star Trek Enterprise, and he was in one episode of Mad Men.
Oh, nice. He has that, not 60s look, but he looks like you could put him in any decade through the 20th century and he'd fit right in. So these scenes here, I wondered if this was a backlot or like a set similar to the Central Park set they'd have in future seasons, but I think that's for a much bigger budget. They're still pretty low at this point.
I agree.
Yeah, and these were actually filmed on the CBS Studio Center lot where they film, Seinfeld, and where they usually film that. We'll see the exterior of the police station. And it was in a little thicket, a little collection of trees next to the trailer where they edit the episodes. So right around the corner, turn the camera around, they're cutting episodes. So our next scene is at an airport. Jerry and George are at security, and they're observing this one guy. And this moment always stands out to me the most, actually, in this scene. He's going through like a cat burglar who thinks if he moves real slowly, the machine won't detect him. Have you ever seen someone do this?
No.
Me either. It's a weird observation.
But it does stick with you.
Yeah, it really does. Because the guy who does it, he's so like, I don't want to say graceful, but there's some sort of...
He's very light on his feet.
He is. And I like how his movement, when he looks at the security guard and nods, it's all one fluid like kind of movement.
Yeah, you're right. It's like
He
jelly.
nods, yeah, like
But
jelly.
you notice how when he makes it through and it doesn't go off, he's like, I made it. You know?
okay.
He's very, very pleased with himself.
I do relate to George here, though. He's a little nervous that he's going to walk through and wind up in another dimension. But, of course, he's fine.
He walks through and he's relieved.
Yeah,
he's like, I made it.
Jerry, however, sets the machine off and he has to get waved with that wand, and we get that classic line.
Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you.
Do you get that? I never really understood that.
What is he imploring them to do? What does he want them to do?
Yeah.
Kind of stand up and say, we're not going to take this? I don't get it.
I assume that makes sense. I didn't know if it was a reference to some like pop culture.
It could be something that's over our heads.
Yeah. Feeble minds.
Well, we forgot to talk about the security guard talking with Jerry about, do you have any metal on you? Bracelets, rings, anklets?
Oh, right. Yeah. Anklets.
A lot of men wear anklets. There's a lot of like commentary on society at this point about like George is going to be next questioned by the other security guard about, what's this? And it's his moisturizer.
Is it for your wife?
Yeah. No, I use it. So I got a couple things I want to discuss here.
Sure.
First, the security officer who wands Jerry.
Uh-huh.
We talked about this earlier, but he's played by actor Will Nye. He's uncredited in this episode, but he's the guy who was in Clue as cop number 1. Remember, we mentioned this a while back.
Did we? Oh, back up here. Back up here.
Okay.
Cop 1.
It's at the end when they raid the house and there's a bunch of cops, I believe.
Oh, so he's kind of hidden.
Right.
Okay.
But I think this is our only Seinfeld Clue connection. So big fan of Will Nye as a result of this.
Yeah, for anyone who's new to the show and hasn't turned it off yet, Vinny and I are huge Seinfeld and Clue fans. But there's got to be a deeper connection than this guy.
Well,
we'll find it.
Keep looking.
Okay.
Will Nye was also in Murder, She Wrote, Coach, Home Improvement, and Columbo. And then the security agent who interacts with George is played by Winston J. Roca. This was his first acting role, actually.
Oh, wow. He did a good job.
Yeah. He went on
wife?
He went on to star in Melrose Place, Everybody Loves Raymond, Yes Dear, and ER. So as we just said, George had moisturizer in his bag, and the security agent was wondering who this was for.
Yeah.
It's George uses it.
Yeah.
So that made me very good, Vinny. Did you ever wonder why George has such beautiful hands, worthy of being a hand model?
Wow, that's a good connection.
It might be because he uses moisturizer.
Yeah, I will buy that.
Thank you.
Do you moisturize?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I never.
I get on a
do.
moisturizing kick, and then I lose it. And then when I get that dryness again, I go back to moisturize.
Maybe he's bringing it for Kramer because he has that uva lotion. All right.
Okay.
I'm trying to make as solid of a connection as you did.
I liked where you're going with it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you see here that the original script had 2 different airport scenes?
Yeah, tell me about him.
So, I think it was prior to this scene, they were going to have 2 additional scenes.
Well, there is a deleted scene out there that I watched, actually. It's Jerry and George in line for the metal detector, and Jerry's sort of like ripping George apart. The morning mist outfit, how it doesn't make sense. He's got a belt on and jeans. His shirt's tucked in. He's not comfortable, whereas Jerry has a very like loose-fitting outfit, yet he can still fit in fashion-wise with society. And the term tucked in comes up, which I thought ties in nicely with the tucked in hotel sheets.
Right. And it's funny you say that because when both Jerry and George go, they board the plane, they're both untucked. I distinctly remember that.
Good. Wow, that's a really good connection. During the deleted scene, after Jerry rips George apart, George untucks his shirt in a desperation to look more comfortable or to feel more comfortable. And George is like, too late, like, nice try, it's not going to happen. So that's why. Good call.
Okay. And Jerry is usually the one to be tucked in, which I thought it was kind of odd to see him untucked.
What do you guys think? Tucked in or tucked out?
Oh man! If you get that reference, more power to you. Oh, and then it's making me think of when Jerry went to Watley and he felt like he got violated. Sometimes he tucks in, sometimes he tucks out.
Yeah.
I think I was tucked in.
Good point.
But anyway, the original script that I was referring to, there were two other airport scenes. In the first one, George had trouble boarding the flight because he wasn't in the computer, and he got in an argument with the ticket clerk, which led security to come grab him and take him away.
Okay.
So then Jerry ends up boarding the plane, and the next scene we see George joining Jerry on the plane, and he explains that the clerk had the reservation, but she was just playing a game with George. And this is why it doesn't make sense to me. Jerry advises George, think of life as a racetrack and these situations as pit stops. You pull in to deal with the adversity, but you get back on the track stronger and better prepared. And George replies, you're not from Earth. You're an alien, some kind of metallic alien. So I can see why that was.
Yeah. Hey, it's all right. I mean, I think Larry Charles did a fine job with the writing of this episode, but they're not all going to be winners by any means.
Well, yeah. So after all this security hoopla, George asks Jerry, what was that all about? And Jerry says, I must have iron-rich blood, which is a nice little joke. And then they start to board the plane, but they get in this little argument over who's going to get the window seat.
Oh, right, yeah.
And George says, I called it. Oh, no, Jerry responds with. And I kind of like that. It's a great friend moment where there's this playful bickering, and you can really, this is one of those moments where you really feel like they're just good friends, and they can have these kind of squabbles.
You know, I think that's one reason why I like season 4 so much. And I mean this is because of the George-Jerry relationship. We've already had 3 seasons of them together, and you can tell they like each other. But this season, they turn into, like, brothers, like little kids, especially in part 2 of the trip.
Oh,
and
in the back of the cop car.
That is some of my favorite material between the two of them. I love those character dynamics, and you're getting a little bit of it here. Mm-hmm. Almost like they're a... as we'll see in the outing, you know, they bicker like an old married couple. I like that.
True.
So we go to a little bit of stand-up.
It seems to me that the closest thing we have to royalty in America are the people that get to ride in those little carts through the airport. Don't you hate these things? They come out of nowhere. Beep, beep, cart people, look out, cart people, look out. We all scurry out of the way like worthless peasants. Ooh, it's cart people. I hope we didn't slow you down. Wave to the cart people, Timmy. They're the best people in the world. You know, if you're too fat, slow, and disoriented to get to your gate on time, you're not ready for air travel. The other people I hate are the people that get on to the moving walkway and then just stand there like it's a ride. Excuse me, there's no animated pirates or bears along the way here. Do your legs work at all?
We got more airport humor. And Matt, this is kind of what you alluded to earlier, in that Jerry does seem more comfortable on stage. And I love how he's he's imploring the audience, going, you know, like, don't you hate these people that do this? Do your legs work at all? He's getting really riled up.
Yeah. Is this original? Like, this seems like it's from his set.
This one I don't remember. So
maybe not. We bring up the same thing. Is this original or was this for the show?
All right, let's take a short break.
Do you know the correct pronunciation of Barcelona is actually Barcelona? That's because many years ago, the King of Spain spoke with a slight lisp, and the members of the court, trying to curry favor with the king, adopted his unusual speech pattern. Absolutely true. Just a piece of Olympic trivia for you. I'm Jerry Seinfeld.
Okay, we're back.
So we come back from the commercial, and we're at a casting office. The exterior shot here is just right across the street from CBS Studio Center, where they filmed Seinfeld. So a lot of stuff just done all, you know, like if they can do it on the studio lot or the property, you know, why not?
So Kramer's here for the audition.
Right, and he walks into that office just filled with actors.
Receptionist is quite funny. He says, which audition, the music video, the horror movie, the exercise tape, or the infomercial? And Kramer has no idea which one he's there for, so he's looking through his kind of call sheet.
And he's looking at all the people, like, who could I beat? Who could I get the role over? Any of these guys?
The receptionist is played by Michael Gerard.
Uh-huh.
He only has 2 acting credits.
Oh.
Seinfeld and The Double McGuffin.
Huh. I never heard of that one.
I have no idea what that is. I also think he kind of looks like the main character from Ratatouille. Do you see that?
I actually don't have a screen grab of him, but I'll pull one up later.
Can we put a
see.
side by side?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So a few things to bring up here. I love the posters that are decorating the wall. It seems to be a lot of horror movies. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if those were...
There's a Freddy poster in the background.
Which I wanted to bring up because the guy's name is escaping me. The guy that played... have you ever killed a man, Kramer?
Ricky Dean Logan?
Right, he is in Freddy's Dead, which is that poster.
Ooh,
and he shows up next episode, yeah. So that ties in there. And we'll get into this more when we see the auditions, but you can see Ann Talman. She's sitting on the couch. That is the woman who played Robin in The Good Samaritan. As we will see, she finishes up her double dip. And I believe at the time Michael was dating her.
Correct.
Right. She's almost unrecognizable as
you're right.
As the exercise video.
Yes. She's directly to Kramer's right. Mm-hmm. Or our left as an audience.
Yeah. First up is the music video.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like rock and roll, like heavy metal.
Yeah, and Kramer is wearing a wig, a very cheap wig, and he's headbanging so furiously that it comes off.
Right.
And you kind of see a depoofed Kramer coif. It's flat now.
Oh yeah, it isn't. You're right. It's not as high as it normally is.
So you can kind of see how his hair is normally when it's not all
gelled up,
scruffed up, and
or moosed up. Next one is like a horror movie, and it's just them like screaming. You got an exercise tape where we see Ann Talman or Ann Talman. I'm not sure. And then we have the infomercial, which is an interesting one. It's just 4 people drinking this.
Some sort of brown liquid.
Or it's green, I think.
Oh, it's green?
Yeah.
Looked brown to me. I thought it was a chocolate drink.
Does he choke on it?
He doesn't like the taste from his reaction, and then he just can't get it down. He starts to spit it out.
There's this kid. I say kid because he looks so young. Do you know who I'm talking about? He's in a red shirt to Kramer's right. Mm-hmm. Does he bug the hell out of you? He's in the horror movie and just the infomercial. But it looks like he's trying to get a lot of attention. In the horror movie, they all scream, and at the end, he screams, and he, like, spins around.
Okay.
After everyone stopped. And then in the infomercial, he's, like, looking at Michael when Michael's spitting the stuff out of his mouth, and he, like, runs off. And it always distracts me from watching Michael during these segments. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm thinking of somebody completely different, so I'm not able to help you out on this one.
Anyways, maybe someone out there will relate to the pain I'm going through. Now, as everyone's leaving from the auditions, and there's that one girl, right? He tells her, "You scream good." Mm-hmm.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah, they have like this nice little moment, a connection. I thought she was creeped out by him, but I think she likes him.
I thought that as well.
As we'll see later on, they hang out. But do you have anything on this actress?
Sure. In the script, she's named Chelsea. She originally was named Hillary, but then during rehearsals, they changed it to Chelsea. She's played by Debbie A. Monahan, and she's been in Married with Children, Mr. Belvedere, Night Court, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Party of Five, Star Trek Voyager, and The Practice.
Nice. I like her look. I like that curly blonde hair. You don't see that as much anymore.
True. Reminds me of the truck driver from the Keys.
Sure. It's very early 90s. So we cut to the Insomnia Cafe, and this girl, Chelsea, and Kramer, they're hanging out, and she's looking over the script that Kramer wrote, and she's like, "Oh, I can show it to my manager."
And we actually get to see the name of this script, his movie treatment, and it's called The Keys.
I never put together that Kramer wrote a script based on the season 3 finale.
Exactly. And I wanted to talk about that. This means that the story that he was telling the hippies in the van, the handsome prince and the mean ogre, and he was cast out for having the keys, that's got to be a snippet from his script.
I never put that together.
A very rudimentary kind of story. And I couldn't help but notice this kind of mimics Larry David's style of writing in taking real life events and then creating a script out of it.
Absolutely. So Chelsea here is going to show that script to her manager, and we don't live in LA. We've never been to LA, or you have, right?
I've been there. I've been to Hollywood.
You've been to Hollywood. I assume this happens a lot in the entertainment industry. Like, I'll show this to someone. Something will happen. We'll get it going. But it sounds like a lot of empty promises. And Apparently, though, this guy, her manager, has connections with West German television money, and they're trying to put together a miniseries for her on Eva Braun. And all of a sudden, this might be Larry Charles, but I feel like this turns more into Larry David, where it's like,
all the Hitler stuff.
Yeah, what was it like having sex with Adolf Hitler? What do you wear in a bunker? What did her parents think of Hitler as a potential son-in-law?
And Kramer can't even concentrate on that right now because he just saw Fred Savage walk in. I love how he's like, look who's over there. Don't look.
Look who's over there. Don't look. It's Fred Savage.
Big deal.
He'd be perfect for my movie. Well, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, huh? I gotta go over there. I gotta give him a copy of my treatment.
Why are you breathing so hard?
Oh, well, I'm just a little nervous. Okay, I gotta relax. Wish me luck, huh? Hey. Oh, did I frighten you? I'm not crazy. I may look weird, but I'm just like you. I'm just a regular guy, just trying to make it in this business. You know, I really like your work.
Thank you.
God, I can't remember the name of it.
Thanks.
But, my mind's a blank. I'm sort of nervous.
That's okay.
You know,
Just relax.
Okay, yeah.
Relax.
But I got the... Stupid table. And I'm not normally like this. Usually I'm very cool and charming. You know, I don't mean to bother you or anything, but I think it's fate that you happen to be here at the same time as me.
Yeah, it's fate, you know.
Yeah, so I got
Can't
this...
avoid your fate.
Yeah, I got this treatment. I think you'd be great in, you know?
Okay.
So I'm
yeah.
going to give it to you, all right?
Thanks a lot.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Oh, wait, you're going now?
All right, bye.
Oh, wait.
So first thing, don't you think it's kind of odd to see Kramer be so nervous? He's usually so cool and composed.
Yeah, man, this is Hollywood, though. It's the big leagues. And...
Yeah. The funny thing is, though, whenever he's nervous or composed, he's still going to act like a doofus. So
yeah.
Even if he was composed, he still would have knocked over that table.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that thing goes flying too.
Yeah, poor Fred Savage. Anyway, I got some trivia for you.
Sure.
In the original draft, they were going to have Kramer bumping into Michael J. Fox.
That is insane.
Very insane.
I would have loved to have seen Michael J. Fox on Seinfeld.
Which is so cool because he ends up coming into Curb and playing himself. And he gets into a tiff with Larry.
Yes.
And then, next bit of trivia, Larry Charles actually based this scene on an event from his own life. When he was trying to make it in Hollywood as a writer, he saw Richard Dreyfuss in a bookstore in L.A., and he tried to pitch him a movie. Larry Charles is quoted as saying, "I was so excited, I started to hyperventilate." And then he actually said to Richard Dreyfuss, "Don't be scared of me." And can you imagine seeing this long, black-haired guy with black sunglasses and a beard accosting you in a bookstore? How could you not be scared of that?
On the commentary, Larry Charles added how he just towered over Richard Dreyfuss. He's just like a monster compared to him. And he had these scripts in his VW Bug that he brought in to show him. You'd be perfect.
Called The Keys.
Yeah, right. I'd be in the same boat if I were Larry Charles, trying to talk to someone I really respected, or just you feel like, I got to take advantage of this moment and approach them. We'll be best friends. And
yeah. So I always like to, anybody who has a speaking part in Seinfeld, I like to give a little bit of brief history of them.
Sure.
Fred Savage, we all know from Wonder Years, which aired from 1988 to 93. He's uncredited in this episode, even though he plays himself. But he's in one of my favorite movies of all time, The Princess Bride. He plays the grandson in the beginning. He's also in Little Monsters with Howie Mandel. And he was in the TV show Working. He was in all the Austin Powers movies. Well, not all of them, but he was in Goldmember as number 3. And he did voice work on Generator Rex and then Family Guy. And he directed 9 episodes of Party Down and 19 episodes of It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, that's been this cool second phase of his career. I think he's great as a comedy director. But next scene, we're at a hotel. This is the Universal City Hilton, and Jerry's on the phone with someone describing what Kramer looks like. I don't know if this is like a PI or who, but I love this part where Jerry, though, is describing what Kramer's hair is like, and he's like, "I think it's wavy," and he double checks with George, who says curly, and Jerry's like, "Wavy."
What'd you ask me for?
Yeah, I feel like that's something that a couple would do.
Yeah.
You're not looking for the right answer. You're looking for someone just to agree with you. That makes sense?
Yeah, and you don't get it, and you still go with your gut answer anyway.
Yeah. So Jerry's in the middle of this conversation, and he asks George if he saw a piece of paper he had on the nightstand, which was crumpled up like a napkin, and he had 3 jokes on it, and it was perfectly worded. Again, getting into that, Jerry writes when he sleeps, or maybe he wakes up thinking of ideas. But Jerry returns to his phone call while George is admiring all those items in the bathroom.
Jerry, body lotion. He likes to pamper himself.
He really does. Well, they've got a shoe buffing machine. The shampoo and conditioner seemed pretty
that's
standard.
And then a shower cap.
Yeah, that's nice. I feel like you don't see those in hotels that
Right.
much anymore. And he likes it so much he actually puts it on because
funny visual.
Yeah, someone knocks at the door, and as George walks across the room to answer it, I feel like the audience is expecting something to happen because he has the shower cap on. Did you pick up on that? Like, oh, he's going to be so embarrassed.
Oh, I did not, but now I see what you're saying.
So at the door is a chambermaid named Lupe, right?
Lupe.
You got anything on her?
I got a lot of things on her. She's played by actress Diana Ortelli. She's credited as chambermaid. Have you heard of chambermaid be referenced any other place other than Seinfeld?
I've only heard it on Seinfeld.
What's up with that? What's the deal with that?
Yeah,
I like the term, but how come nobody else has ever used chambermaid? I guess it's been used in Curb as well, because that's probably coming from Larry.
I wonder if it's a bit of an outdated term, and it's just something Larry and Jerry used from...
Kind of latched onto?
Yeah, and then they just never really let go of it. What do you call them now? Like cleaning
Turn
person?
down service?
No, but as a noun. Like, not maid. Yeah, hotel maid?
Good question.
I don't know.
Okay.
What do you got on Deanna?
Oh, yeah. So, Diana Ortelli, she was in Three Amigos. She played Juanita. She was in La Bamba. She played Lupe in the TV show Marblehead Manor, which is a show that Michael Richards also was in.
Oh.
So there's a little connection there. She was in Columbo, CSI, Lizzie McGuire, and she was in 2 Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes.
I did not remember her.
She played Larry's housekeeper, Dora.
Oh, right.
No, she's like, no, Mr. Larry.
Oh, that's right.
With the Christmas bonus.
Yes. So George checks to see if she's making the bed in the morning because he has a request.
Could you not tuck the blankets in? Because I can't sleep all tucked in.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I like to just be able to take the blankets and swish them and swirl them. You know what I mean? I don't like them all tucked. I just don't. I like to have a lot of room. I like to have my toes pointed up in the air. Just like to scrunch up the blankets.
Yes. It's too tight to sleep in.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yes, it's too tight. Him too?
Oh, Jerry, you want your blankets tucked in?
Excuse me, what?
You want your blankets tucked in?
What blankets?
When Lupe makes up the beds in the morning.
I don't know, whatever they do.
I tuck in? Yes?
Tuck in.
All right, so that's 1 tuck and 1 no tuck.
Okay.
Yes. 1 second, sweetheart. Jerry, I really think it'd be easier if you didn't tuck.
Excuse me. Fine. You don't want me to tuck? Put me down for a no tuck.
That's 2 no tucks.
Hang on a second. You know what? Change my mind. Make it a tuck.
You just said you weren't tucking.
I'm tucking. Hello. They hung up on me. They don't know where Kramer is anyway.
All righty. So, that's 1 tuck and 1 no tuck.
Now, apparently the whole Lupe, tuck, no tucks was directly something that Larry David added to the script, according to Larry Charles. This was... I don't know if this is something that Larry David experienced. I feel like hamstrings come up a lot.
Yeah, this will be the 3rd time they referenced either tucking or I pulled my hamstring because of the tucking incident.
Mm-hmm.
And the tucking was actually added during rehearsals.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. I couldn't believe, though, that George had the nerve to ask the chambermaid to tuck or untuck. Because it doesn't seem like it seems like he wouldn't want to put that on a chambermaid and he'd do it himself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, why not just do it yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
I don't know.
What about you, though? Are you a tucker or are you a no tucker?
Don't you call me that. I'm kind of hit or miss. I think when I'm really cold, I like that tucked in feeling, You feel kind of secure. But then if I'm warm, I like it untucked.
Oh, yeah. I think I like tucked, but in a hotel, they tuck it so tight And there's
it's
so
like
much
stapled underneath or something.
Yeah, and there's so much on top that it's so hard to kick anything loose. So if you're just dealing with a single sheet and a comforter, which is what I typically deal with, I'm okay with tucked.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anyways, before Lupe leaves, Jerry asks her and finds out that she threw out his note when she cleaned the room. And again, he's really pissed because he had the perfect wording of a joke he was going to do on The Tonight Show about the x-ray counter at the airport. Mm-hmm. And this dilemma, just, I had this, perfect idea, reminds me a lot of the Sally Weaver.
Charles Grodin show.
Yeah, right? What was the scenario there? He
bought the bottle of barbecue sauce, which had Charles Grodin look just like him. He was going to bring it on the show to talk about it. But he asked Sally Weaver, can you bring some from your native Tennessee, right? And she brought...
Pride of Memphis.
Instead of bringing the sauce that he requested, she brought back the Pride of Memphis barbecue because the other one is kind of a joke.
Right. I know it's a joke. I'm going on that show with nothing.
I think it serves Jerry right that Lupe.
I
think it's
we're a little loopy.
I think it serves Jerry right that
because he's so rude to her.
Yes, he's so rude to Lupe.
That it serves him right.
That's what I meant to say.
But she threw it out first. He wasn't rude to begin with.
He didn't. She didn't know. He didn't know that.
Do chambermaids usually just throw out stuff they find?
I think if you have stuff that looks like trash, they're gonna put it in the trash.
That's true. And if it's crumpled up like a napkin,
yeah. Why would he crumple it up in the first place?
True,
jackass. So George convinces Jerry to untuck. That way, it's easier for Lupe, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that you can have two no tucks. Because originally Jerry wanted a tuck.
And then he goes to a no tuck because George.
And then
pressures him.
Jerry says, "You know what? Change my mind. Make it a tuck." Is that Jerry really wanting a tuck, or is he like, I'm just going to screw with George?
It's part of me says he's screwing with him because I have not, I'm not quoting this episode, but I'm definitely referencing this episode. If I want to mess with someone,
yeah,
I'll do that same tone. You know what? Yeah, put me down for that.
There we go. See? Thank you.
It was worth it. So we're on the road briefly here. Jerry and George are driving around, arguing about whether Jerry should have gone with the no-tuck.
Nobody tucks anymore.
And they drive by this, what do you call this, like a photocopy store?
Yep.
I don't know why I forgot the term. It's just that they're not really around anymore, other than Kinko's.
And Kinko's went out of business, right?
Did they?
Or they changed their...
Oh, it's like a FedEx. I think FedEx owns them now.
There you go.
It's all becoming just one big business.
More playful bickering, though. Or not playful, but more bickering between this couple, George and Jerry.
That's all foreshadowing the outing. Well, as they drive by this photocopy store, Kramer exits with a stack of 8x9s, or 8x10s. What is it? If I had an 8x10, I wouldn't need to work anymore. And as Kramer, gets in his convertible and speeds off, these photos, these headshots just go flying, and a cop picks one of them up, which...
I'd like to have one of those headshots.
Yeah, I was trying to get a really nice screen grab of it, but it's at an angle, and it takes up only a little bit of the screen.
So the police officer picks up the headshot. Is he suspicious of Kramer, or is he just kind of analyzing it?
Thank you for bringing this up, because I was trying to figure out where this is going, and we know it pays off at the end because you see that. But how did he put together that that's the guy? Oh, do they find a headshot with the script, maybe?
The one that's found on her person?
Yeah,
of
her
the
person?
dead body?
Well, actually, that's the next scene. We go
Let's
right.
talk about it.
Okay, we go right into the like another woodsy scene, and there's another murder victim. This time it's Chelsea from before. Very dark. It's like a shot of her right in the foreground, and on her person, right, is the title page of the script, but it's ripped. Did you notice that?
It is ripped, and you can't see his first name.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Wonderful joke.
Love that.
On her person? What kind of expression is that?
So maybe there's a photo there, a photo of Kramer. Maybe
that's probably the connection.
They can link the two. Then why show the cop pick him up? Oh, I guess maybe to set up that he had him. I don't know. I think we're overanalyzing this just a tad. Anyways, we're at NBC, and Jerry and George are walking around backstage, and George just can't contain his excitement, particularly about seeing a celebrity. And they part ways as Jerry goes to get ready, and George just sort of mills around the other dressing rooms, and a familiar face shows up. It's who is this?
Corbin Burnson.
Do I have a case for you guys on LA Law?
Oh, his face drops as soon as George says that.
Now, from day one of seeing this episode, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, to today, I just don't know Corbin Burnson very well.
Oh,
and
you don't?
I feel really bad because I'm not familiar with LA Law. I think LA Law was just a little too adult for me when it was on.
Right.
But
that's what he's best known for, playing this Arnie Becker lawyer on LA Law. I will always know him as Roger Dorn from the Major League movies.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sure.
Yes. And he's also, lately he's been on Psych for the past couple years.
Oh, cool.
And he was in this really, for some reason I enjoyed it, but he was in this, I guess you could call it a horror movie, The Dentist.
I remember that VHS tape at my local video store growing up.
And it is like graphic, not graphic, but it's just disturbing what goes on. He's a dentist, and I think his wife cheats on him, and he kind of has a nervous breakdown, and he takes it out on his patients.
Oh, that's while they're under the gas.
Yeah. But anyway, that's Corbin Burnson.
As he'll be known as the guy from The Dentist. But he's great in this scene, though. He's really good at playing someone who's really annoyed and just doesn't want to be there.
And I actually I feel for George in this moment because when in the past when I have met celebrities, I do get gushy and you can't help it, you know? And I've done that thing where I'm like, big fan. I point to myself, and they don't need to hear that crap.
They hear it so much.
I feel so bad for them.
There's nothing you can say to any celebrity that they either haven't heard before or that's going to change their life in any way.
And I always walk away inevitably saying to myself, so stupid. Why did I say that?
The wheels are turning, and he's just working up what he's going to say that's going to, change this guy's life.
He's overcome with just jubilee.
And he decides to pitch him a story idea for LA Law, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm only going out with her 2-3 weeks. So she goes out of town, and she asks me to feed her cat. So at this time, there's a lot of stuff going on in my life, and it slips my mind for a few days. Maybe a week. Maybe a week, 5-6 days. Yeah, so what happened? Well, it's the damnedest thing. The cat dies. So she comes back into town, she finds the cat lying on the carpet, stiff as a board.
So you killed the cat?
That's what she says. I say, listen, it was an old cat. It died of natural causes. So get this. Now she tells me that I gotta buy her a brand new cat. I say, listen, honey, first of all, it was a pretty old cat. I'm not gonna buy you a brand new cat to replace an old dying cat. And second of all, I go out to the garbage, I find you a new cat in 15 seconds. I say, you show me an autopsy report that says this cat died of starvation, I spring for a new cat. So she says something to me like, I don't know, get the hell out of here, and she breaks up with me. Now, don't you think that would be a great case on LA Law?
It's so funny how it's like this long, drawn-out story that comes all the way back to, hey, LA Law, right? Something tells me that's not a case they would ever do on LA Law.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
As we'll learn in a couple scenes.
That's right. But who's next up? He runs into another celebrity.
We got George Wendt from Cheers.
Mm-hmm. Norm
Peterson. George Wendt, best known for his role on Cheers. I also remember him as Bob Swirsky from Dub Bears skits on SNL.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what is George bugging him about?
Oh, well, I was going to say, so if you thought the interaction between George and Corbin Burnson was bad, again, picture George Wendt on this hit TV show Cheers, and where does Cheers take place?
In a bar.
In a bar. So where does George go with this? That's enough with the bar already. Why don't you try a different setting? and George Wendt's like, well, I doubt it, There are other places people meet other than a bar. What about a rec room or a community center?
He just doesn't get it at all.
And again, George Wendt's like, I got to get out of here. So he says, you should write one of those. And he leaves.
And again, praise to Jason. But George is like, I will do that. Thank you, George. Like, he's so content that he had this incredible conversation with two TV actors, as he tells Jerry as Jerry walks up, right? I had two intelligent, meaningful conversations with Corbin Burnson and George Wendt.
I was incredibly articulate.
You got toilet paper on your heel.
Jerry walks away after this, seeming very pleased with
himself. Another moment when you're like, is Jerry saying this to be helpful, or is he saying it to be a jerk?
He wants to knock George down a peg.
Oh, absolutely.
So a couple things. I love that George Wendt says you should write one of those. As of now, it's kind of a gag to us. But in the big picture, George does go on to write one of those.
He does.
So
There's
kind of
a lot of foreshadowing in this episode. I know they already had the season mapped out, or at least those initial episodes when Larry Charles was putting this together. So I would imagine he did that on purpose, or at least it wouldn't hurt.
It feels like they're planting these seeds and they end up paying off. It's a nice memory right now. Mm-hmm. Originally, they wanted to get Ted Danson to be in this scene, which would have been so perfect because we know Larry David as well as George Costanza will come to have a little bit of a fixation with, or an infatuation with Ted Danson.
Good and bad.
Yes.
Now, I didn't know this year-wise, but this was it was around this time that Ted Danson called up Warren Littlefield and said, I don't want to do Cheers anymore. Mm. And so this was marking the 10th and final season of Cheers.
Okay.
And as we know, that would have a huge impact on Seinfeld down the line. Seinfeld right now is on Wednesday nights, and when Cheers is wrapping up its final few months, Seinfeld moves to air the same night as Cheers, and we get that infamous Larry David line.
I don't want to be Cheers' little brother.
All right.
At one point, Jerry and George were going to discuss that the Tonight Show was, quote, taped live, end quote, which would have been a fun discussion. I know Jerry has that conversation with Morty and Helen when they're...
that's right.
Yeah, right?
He's like, it comes on at what time over there? And he's like, they tape it live. He's like, how long they been doing that?
30 years.
Yeah.
And then also, in the original script, George is going to meet Robert Stack, the host of Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, instead of Corbin Burnson.
Yes. And George was going to give Stack his own unsolved mystery. And the mystery was going to go like this. He met a woman in an empty subway station who gave George her phone number and address. The next day, George finds that number is disconnected and that the address is an abandoned building. And George ends the story with, and then it hits me. I met a ghost. Someone who died like 30 years ago. It was eerie. That would have been a fun one.
Yeah. I love George Wendt, and he's great as Norm on Cheers, but that would have been so cool to have Ted Danson.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a higher caliber actor.
Well, he was the main star of Cheers, whereas George Wendt was probably
and it was
a cast of characters.
It would have tied in really well with George's comments about Ted Danson later this season.
That would have given him more reason to have this vendetta against Ted Danson.
Because as we find out on the Tonight Show here, and just a heads up, I'm going to condense all of the Tonight Show scenes here, and then we'll go into the police station scenes. They kind of bounce back and forth.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the Tonight Show starts, and right out the gate, we should probably give this some setup here because it's weird how they shoot it. We don't get a shot of Johnny Carson, and we don't get a shot of Jay Leno. And I heard another story.
What'd you hear?
From Larry Charles. I called him up last night, and I'm like, hey, tell me what happened. And
big fan.
Well, he kind of framed it as Jerry and Jay were good friends, and I think they still are good friends.
Yeah,
I think they bond a lot over cars, or at least I think they do.
Well, he did. Well, before you go on, he did Comedians in Cars with Jerry.
Oh, right.
And then also we see Jay Leno later in the series.
That's right.
He does a couple spots.
Good point. Well, so they're good friends, and at this point, apparently Jay already got the job, and they wanted to shoot on the set during an actual Tonight Show. I have a realistic sense to it. And Helen Kushnick, who was Jay's manager and producer of the Tonight Show, actually shut it down. She didn't want to do that idea at all. So they didn't want Jay to be involved, I guess, during the scene. So they were kind of stuck with, hey, what do we do then if we don't have a host? We can't have like a generic talk show host come in there. So they just shot around the host, and I think it actually works well. It
really does.
It only becomes obvious when you kind of think about it, like, hey, where's Jay? Like, we know he shows up later. Why is he here?
Isn't there an announcer saying, "Welcome to the Tonight Show," and it usually says with host? It'll say the host name.
Oh, and they probably
Do they just
don't
not
say
say
it. Yeah,
say it?
just probably the Tonight Show.
They could have done one of those trail off jokes again. Welcome to the Night Show with.
But we have George in the audience, and he's just thrilled to be there. He had the 2 conversations earlier. He's going to see his best friend perform.
Did you notice it's a kind of a dated gag? But as the announcer's announcing who's on the show, Corbin Burnson, George Wendt, and comedian Jerry Seinfeld. George does a woo woo woo.
The Arsenio
Hall.
Yeah.
Then he tries to whistle, or he thinks twice about whistling or something.
And then he just sits down.
Yeah.
But we have Corbin Burnson up, and also George Wendt for that matter. They just start talking about this nut, the sick nut backstage about pitching ideas about the dead cat and getting out of the bar. And the audience is just cracking up, at these stupid ideas. And George is just sitting there humiliated. And even during commercial, they bond over the same guy, right?
Yeah. George Wendt asks Corbin Burnson, "Hey, what did the guy you were talking to look like?" Some little bald guy with glasses.
Oh, yeah. That's right. And then Jerry does his stand-up, and of course, because he doesn't have that napkin, the note, he starts to fumble.
So I'm going through the airport, and I have to put my bag on that little the conveyor belt.
I love hearing Jerry stumble.
Yes.
It's so... I know it's acting here, but...
Acting.
He's probably experienced this enough in his life that it's not hard to channel.
Well, this is kind of a testament to, earlier we said how polished his act is. He's really getting comfortable with the material, whether it's his own or somebody that is written for the show. But here he's able to convey a comedian who doesn't know his material, and he's got to fumble through it. He kind of wipes his brow because he's frustrated, and he takes these pauses. He looks down at the floor. Mm-hmm. Great job.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of the Diplomats Club when he sees the pilot in the audience.
I noticed you got a lot of cones on the throughway there.
What was I saying? Now, this was another idea that was added at the last minute, right?
Yeah, during rehearsals. They thought it'd be funny to have Jerry forget his lines.
I guess Jerry doesn't really have a routine or an arc this episode. So this is all intercut with some scenes at the LA police station. First up is, what's her name again? Helena?
Helena, yeah.
Helena. She recalls him being, very handsome, passionate, intense, troubled, strange, and he may be in love with her.
Of course, there's nothing abnormal about that. I have many suitors. I like her. I like this character.
Yeah, she's a little scary. Got a little, is it Gloria Swanson? Who's the actress from Sunset Boulevard? So who's up next?
So this is hippie number 1 from the Keys episode. He's credited as the freak in this episode, but Martell's interviewing him. You don't even. The freak is in the middle of his sentence.
Yeah, it's recounting when he asked Kramer, "Did you ever kill a dude?"
What do you think, Junior? These hands have been soaking in ivory liquid. Did you notice he's wearing a county jail denim shirt?
No.
So I assume he must have gotten picked up. Like he's being detained by the police.
Wow. I didn't put that together. Yeah, because how would they track him down?
Right.
That would make no sense. Totally.
He's got I noticed he has a cross on his forehead too.
Right on the brow there. So this is enough, I guess, for this hothead lieutenant to issue an arrest warrant and put out an APB to pick up this Kramer. So we're at the Tonight Show after taping, and Jerry and George are getting ready to leave. Jerry, again, thought he was terrible, and he's still pretty peeved at Lupe for throwing out his napkin. But again, George just keeps defending her. I almost don't understand where this is coming from. Like, does George just have a connection with her?
Well, he's always found chambermaids attractive.
Good point.
It's a woman in your room. So I think he's got a soft spot for Lupe.
Probably.
Can't believe you're blaming Lupe.
Well, right as they're about to walk out, they catch a little news bulletin on the TV.
Our top story tonight, there has been a break in the so-called smog stranglings. Police have just released a photo of the suspect being sought in connection with the slayings. He is known only as Kramer.
Keith Morrison, actual newscaster in real life. His only acting credit, this is considered an acting credit, is Seinfeld.
Interesting. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Stand up.
Talk show hosts never seem to have any idea how much time is left in the show. You know, they're always looking off camera. Do we have time? We out of time? How are we doing on time? Anybody know what the time is? What's the time? Time? Anybody checking the time? You never see Magnum P.I. go, should I strangle this guy? We're going to take a break here. Can you stay for another beating? I'll tell you what, I'll bop him in the head. We'll do a commercial. Come back. I'll drive in the car real fast. Stay with us.
I never picked up on that little line there. Should I strangle this guy, or are we going to have to take a break here? That almost ties into the Smog stranglings.
It really does.
Yeah.
It's a cute little bit.
Yeah. Do hosts do that as much anymore? I feel like that happened back in the day more. Like they talked to their producer off camera.
I remember Letterman doing that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And Leno, but I don't know the late night talk shows nowadays.
I don't
I'm
either.
Not sure.
All right, so ratings?
Ratings.
So, what do you think?
This still kind of feels like we're back in season 3, though. It still kind of has that look, and it's probably because they're in LA. We haven't quite gotten back to New York yet, and once we get there is when I'll feel like we're back in season 4. But a lot of quick cuts, a lot of short scenes, a lot of guest stars. Everything's filmed in LA. So it's like kind of unsettling for me, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because everything's on location. It doesn't feel like Seinfeld. It feels like you said earlier, a Kramer kind of spinoff. That's what it feels like. And I'm kind of homesick for New York. I want him back at Monk's. I want him back in Jerry's apartment. And again, this is only really half of a episode, or a third, if you will, of a trilogy. So I feel like this episode in particular, this second part, has a lot of setup. There's not a lot of things happening. So there's just kind of jokes here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say out of the 3, this one is probably the weakest. And another thing, the four main characters are not together at all. Only Jerry and George are together. Kramer's off doing his own thing, and Elaine is not there. So the dynamic that I love, you love, everybody loves is not happening. So it kind of feels. It's like the Arrested Development season 4 in that you just follow an individual character off into their own journey.
Mm-hmm.
We're watching Kramer do his thing. Having said that, I still really enjoyed the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give this 8 tickets written by a transit patrol officer to senior citizens with fake bus passes out of 10.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. This episode has a just an odd feel to it. This whole arc, the Larry Charles Keys trip arc. I kind of wanted us to start this episode by talking about, season 4. Like, let's talk about what the season's known for. But we're really not in season 4 right now. Even though this is technically the premiere episode, we're almost like in this limbo between 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a comment on the quality of these episodes or the humor. It's just the gang's not all together yet. We haven't gotten the main arc set up at all. It's almost like we're buying time until we get to that proper premiere, which would be the pitch, the 3rd episode of this season. I have to just applaud Larry Charles for always delivering a perfect balance of darkness and light. Whether or not that's your type of humor, it is what it is. But I always appreciate someone who pushes what 30-minute comedies are. They don't have to be locked on a set. They don't have to be a certain type of humor. You can experiment. This is like an incredible medium. We don't have to feel trapped in some sort of formulaic production. Having said that, though, I love what Larry David did. You can tell the jokes that he added. The tuck, what was the other one?
Did she show her breasts in that?
Yeah, the carnal knowledge joke, I'm sure, was one of his. But, all the praise, all the things we like about the episode, this isn't one that I really would want to watch on my own. We didn't mention this either. I think this is the first time we get it to be continued. Yeah. And I don't know when we get one again. Maybe the Boyfriend did it to be continued in syndication if they had to split it up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a fan of to be continueds. I don't like that. Like, it always seems like a cheap hook. But yeah, having said all of that, I'm going to... I feel bad doing this.
Do it.
I'm actually going to drop my score just a little bit from what I originally had, and I'm going to give this one 7.5 nuts. 7.5 sick nuts out of 10.
All right. Thanks for joining us this week. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, Instagram.
Oh my God. We're all over the place.
Those are a lot of things to remember.
Yeah. Also, check us out on iTunes if you have a minute.
We're on iTunes too.
Yeah. iTunes. Leave us a rating and review if you haven't already. We'd really appreciate it. Vinny, what are we discussing next?
We are discussing the second half of the trip part 2. Matt, let me ask you, how long do you wait to release the second half of a Seinfeld episode?
I don't know, a week?
A week? No. 1 day, 2 tops.
No, man, I read it in Inlanders.
Inlander sucks.
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC, and is intended for information and entertainment purposes only. The official Seinfeld site can be found at sonypictures.com/TV/Seinfeld. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Castle Rock Entertainment or their respective trademark and copyright holders.
Put your arms and legs, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you,